How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews. Back with a little bit of drowned lens up in this piece in the form of the River Birch. This is a premium Foeder Pilsner, coming at 5.1% alcohol by volume. This was canned. There's no date, but I know it's relatively fresh because I went to the brewery and got it. Yeah, I went on a little brewery trip, me and the old Keister from 93 Lumber, and yeah. Let's see what's what. Yeah, label-wise, like I said, I've always kind of dug their labels. It's kind of like a more kind of hipstery twist on what Burlington does, that kind of pinstriping, but kind of stuff that like tattoo artists kind of tattoo and randomly on their bodies to look cool. Yeah, I said it. So I like it. What do you want me to say? Beer-wise, looks like an unfiltered Pilsner. Looks all the part of what it's supposed to be. That soft little a slightly little hazy kind of body to it. Not much of a head to it. I'm sure if I poured this 19 times, it'd do that kind of slow pour kind of vibes on it. But yeah, it looks part of an unfiltered Pilsner. Let's get a nose. And honestly, it does smell like an unfiltered Pilsner, and I mean that specifically in that I don't get a big, like, kind of Foeder characteristic off of this as far as wood, or any kind of funky little kind of nook and crannies of little bits and pieces of bugs or whatever. I mean, there is a softness to it. I guess you could attribute it to the Foeder, but really just comes off as a slightly cracky Pilsner kind of maltiness, a little bit of soft, very soft bittering on it. Super clean, though. Done and done. Let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, it's delicious. It has this really nice kind of soft bitteriness to it. It does have a little bit of kind of this soft, rounded edge maltiness to it. That's your Foeder at play or would it play, but it's still super drinkable, super chuggable. I mean, this coming out of a Foeder being this crisp and clean while still having that soft little edge to it is a very fun trick to pull off, but it really is, for all intents and purposes, a very soft, while still snappy to a certain extent. I want to make sure that's expressed. It's not a crispy boy. Double negatives rule the world. It's definitely a crispy boy, but it has that soft enough edge to it to where it kind of lends itself to being a little bit more drinkable, almost session level if the ABV wasn't so high. And that's pretty much it. I'm not getting a huge kind of wood component off it. Sure, twist my arm, a little bit of woodiness from it. That little bit of kind of a shaved edge on that sharpness of the Pilsner is definitely present. So that's where the Foeder comes through most. And then it's just a really well-made beer. Like, honestly, we're going to sit here and go, okay, one of the better Pilsners I've had is yes, is it Mount Rushmore status? Oh, it's certainly getting up there. And that's how good these beers are. I mean, these guys have been making these from quite some time now, and they're really, really doing a really good job of it. But the problem is where we lie with when we start talking about price and availability. I mean, they're relatively available. They can be had. They do hit certain distribution. It's the price point on these are just so hard for me to swallow. I purchased this. I paid $18 a 4-pack for this. I understand time. I understand lagers. I understand Foeders. I understand the beautiful tap room that is ridiculously fantastic and the whole shebanger. But man, that price point just really does take a little bit, and by a little bit I mean a lot of luster off that fastball. And that's the thing. You give this to me, and I'm not saying that in the sense that I'm trying to be greedy. That asking to give me this and a 15, a 14, even a $16 beer for the sake conversation. I can bite down on that $16 and be like, fine. 14, I'm much more happier. 12, I'm kind of like, you're doing this pretty good stuff at $12 a 4-pack. 18 is just really, 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 really hard to swallow. And I've had these beers. I mean, this is, you get your kind of softer, kind of Pilsnery stuff easily at 16. Swarz does pretty much everything at 16. But then even beyond that, there's a lot of breweries that do Foeder Pils, and they'll get in that. And we're talking, they're not in Orange County, New York. They're in Brooklyn, and they're doing, $14, $15, which is still very pricey. But when you add that kind of component of the Foeder into play, you understand where the money's going. But it just... $18 is really, 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 really hard to swallow. Actually, no, it's not. It's actually really easy to swallow, and it's delicious. Literally. But figuratively. Financially, it's a little hard to swallow. So what is it? A soft, rounded edge, still snappy, crispy boy Pilsner that comes off really delicious, just a little bit funky in the whole wallet region of the world. That's pretty much what the beer is. Listen, I bought it. I love it. I don't hate that I bought it. I'm going to love chugging the shit out of them. Is this one of the better ones, like I said, that I've had as of late? Yes, but value and availability, it's that price point that really kills you and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you're like really well on Pilsner and you want that just kind of extra softness, that rounded edge, while still retaining that lightness of the beer that you get from these Foeder-based Pilsners, you'll love this. You'll love it. So there you go. A review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. You want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive. You want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little Pilsner right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.